If you organize your life around your passion, you can turn your passion into your story, and then your story into something bigger, something that matters. Hi, I'm Linda Watson-Call. Thank you for joining me in this episode of Dragonfly Soup. When was the last time you did something, anything, that you didn't want to end? Maybe you were tending your garden and you started in the morning, then took a short break for lunch, and then headed back to finish. But as you were working, you weren't thinking things like, oh, I hope I get done with this soon. Instead, you were thinking, when I finish this area, I really would like to start in the garden in the front. Crazy? Not at all. Or maybe you're in your workshop. It's the middle of summer, but you're designing a Christmas gift. A wooden bench that would be perfect for your aunt and uncle's new home. They like early American furnishings, and you just bought a lathe and a planer. You can't wait to start making that bench. Outlandish? Not at all. Or maybe you're at the grill. You're trying a new recipe for Cajun pork chops. Yeah, last week you smoked that salmon your brother caught, and your friend said it was the best they ever tasted. You don't care if you're smoking, grilling, sauteing in the kitchen. You just want to prepare food for others. Half-baked? Never. Every one of these people that I just described had one thing in common, their passion. Now think about your life. If you got up tomorrow and could do anything, and I mean anything that you wanted to do, what would you do? If you won the lottery next week, how would you spend that money? What would you do? Whatever you always wanted to do or be? Is there nothing that's out of your grasp? You know, if you think about it, you can do it. But in order to have that kind of a life, you have to be committed to living that life. More importantly, you have to be passionate about it. No matter what it is, it has to consume you. You have to want to do it regardless of the schooling you would need, regardless of the expense involved in doing it, and regardless of what others may think or say about you for doing it. Mike Mikowski, an American entrepreneur, author, and philanthropist, wrote in his book, Start Something That Matters. If you organize your life around your passion, you can turn your passion into your story, and then turn your story into something bigger, something that matters. Now, Blake is the chief shoe giver of Tom's and the person behind the idea of 1 for 1, a business model that helps a person in need with every product that was purchased. You might say he lived what he wrote and then turned his life into something that matters. But what about us? Some of us are just getting by. Some of us are doing a little better, and some are trying to hold it together. How can we ever begin our story, let alone turn it into something that matters? Well, it all starts with passion. Now, I know most of us want to make money. We want to be independent and not have to rely on someone or something else. But nobody can do it all by themselves. There's always this give and take. And when that give and take is balanced, that is when everything starts to happen. Now, Tom gives his shoes away. But in a study that was done, they realized that children who received shoes believed that others should provide for their families. Now, the children who did not receive shoes didn't have that belief. So Tom's changed their way of giving by providing employment in those countries. They also provide health services and use the shoes as an incentive to come into the clinic. Fundamentally, they're still giving, but now they've shifted the responsibility of receiving to the receivers. So let's say that your passion is making bread, and you figure out a way to organize your life around making bread. So maybe you take classes so you can improve the quality or the nutritional value of your bread. You experiment and find different flavors of bread and new textures. Now your bread is in demand. You are able to market it to upscale restaurants, and the demand increases. You need to expand your capacity to make the bread without losing the stuff that makes your bread so good. And you also decide that you will donate a percentage of the bread that you make to a local soup kitchen. That story gets out. Your story gets out. You hire more workers, but you decide that part of your story is to hire people who need a second chance. Your story is getting bigger, and soon it becomes something that matters. Along the way, though, you always need to be as passionate about your bread as you were the day that you took that first loaf out of the oven. Otherwise, everything you create will be something that you have to do, not something that you want to do. And it doesn't have to be something really big. I know a woman who's a licensed plumber. She enjoys plumbing. Yes, it is her passion. And she used to work for a local plumbing company. Now she's retired. Do you know what she does in her free time? She takes care of plumbing issues for single women with children who can't afford to hire a plumbing company. Why single women with children? Because at one time, when she was younger, she was a divorced mother. She looked around at what she loved to do, and it was home repairs, so she zeroed in on plumbing. Now she's written her story and helps those who need it the most. What about you? Let me know either in an email or a message what your passion is and how you can turn your passion into your story and into something that matters. While you're at it, be sure to click like for this episode and share it with a friend. You might also want to check out our gift shop where you can purchase items like Dragonfly Soup t-shirts, hoodies, or other gifts. The link is below. Or you can show support for this program by clicking this link. Any contribution to continue this series is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next week, right here on Dragonfly Soup. Here's to our transformation and our best year ever.